Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com or look for us on Facebook at Voices from the Bench. Greetings and welcome to episode 211 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
My name is COVID.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Elvis.
What's going on, Barb? Hi, how are you?
I said I wasn't going to mention it, but I might as well. I finally came down with it 2 years after the fact, so I've been in bed all day, and I feel like actually I've been in bed since Sunday, and it's Friday. But it is what it is. I finally got it. Now I can have antibodies and move on.
It's pretty crazy that both of us have gone so long without it.
I know.
Without getting it.
Yeah.
What are you feeling? Just tired? Fever?
Yeah. Well,
can you smell and can?
Yes, I can smell. No headache.
Well,
everything
good.
in my body ached on Monday when I came down from it, and fever and sweating, a little bit of coughing, but mostly just exhausted. Can't get out of bed. Just can't really do anything.
Sounds like the flu.
Yeah, I can still taste. Most of it's fever. I've had been between like 100 and 102. That finally broke today, so I've just been laying in bed. Not the most pleasant experience, but not the worst. I'm blessed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I came down with it on the way home from Dallas, though. Damn it.
So definitely not the meeting. Let's
No.
just say that. I mean, a lot of people at that meeting, I haven't heard anything.
No,
so.
I think I picked it up at the airport on the way home. I don't think I got it at the meeting at all.
That's what you get for going to Love Airport rather than DFW. I told you.
Well, yeah, you're right. But at least now I can move on.
What is the protocol these days? A whole week that you have to isolate, or I can't keep up with it. It changes so
Until
often.
I don't have any symptoms, and my fever just broke today, so I'll probably go back Monday. I'm definitely got a test. I went and bought a couple tests, so
Yeah.
actually I have a couple tests that I had recently. I didn't go out and buy them, but yeah, I got to make sure I'm, pretty much I think it's after 4 or 5 days, so Monday I'm going to go back and become a human again.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Emerge from your cave and
Yeah.
see the sun. How's the lab handling your absence? I know you're busy.
I've been on the phone with doctors and designs. It's like I'm not even sick, right? So I'm sick, and I'm still half working. But yeah, they're fine. I don't even know.
Yeah.
You know when you're that sick, you don't really care.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
It could freaking start on fire, and I just wouldn't care because I was not in a bad way.
Barb, the lab's on fire. Wake up. Ugh, I don't want to.
Exactly.
Barb.
Yeah.
Well, we feel for you, Barb.
Thanks.
I feel terrible. I wish there was something I could do, but I'm 1,000
isn't.
miles away, so.
There isn't. It's all good.
Good vibes.
Yeah. Thanks. So what's happening this week?
This week, we're actually going back over the pond to meet some new friends in the UK. One of the ways to become a guest on this podcast is basically just do cool stuff online. That's usually going to catch our eye and make us want to learn more about you. And that's when we discovered the Hive.
Yeah. Cool name.
This laboratory, located in Dorset, is owned by Eleanor and Emily Pittard.
Good job on the name, bro. Fine.
Pittard. Emily is the hands-on technician, and Eleanor is the marketing and business genius. But together, they have created a fantastic lab, winning awards like the 2021 Dentistry Awards for Best Dental Lab and Best Technician.
Yeah. Amazing.
With Emily's ability to work directly with patients, the Hive is quickly becoming more than just a standard laboratory. They talk about how they got into the industry, starting the Hive, taking it mobile during the pandemic, winning the awards, and wait until you hear about these award ceremonies, and what's next for these bees that are making a big buzz in the industry. I was proud of that. Come on.
Look at you. I was just going to say, look at you with that play on word and laboratory. That's like twice. Very impressive.
So join us as we chat with Emily and Eleanor Pittard.
And now a special message from our good friend Norbert Ulmer from Grow 3X.
If you want to save and also grow, Grow 3X is where you should go. Resins to print night guards for high impact and flex. Look no further because we have them at Grow 3X. burrs for your mills, zirconia for your crowns. With Growth3X, you will be the hottest lab in town. And last but not least, if you seriously want to grow, at Growth3X Aligners, and your doctors will say, wow!
Be sure to check out all Growth3X has to offer at grow3x.com. That's GRO3X.com. And as always, we appreciate your support of the podcast.
Thank you.
Voices from the Bench. The interview. We'd like to welcome to the podcast all the way from the UK, and now my dogs just woke up, all the way from the UK, Emily and Eleanor Pittard? Pittard. What am I saying it wrong?
No, Pittard, but, it's been pronounced worse. You did well. Yeah.
So is it Pittard?
Yeah, it's Pittard.
It's technically like French origin. So if you really want to go fancy, then you can put a bit of a French accent on it, but it's fine.
Well, let me hear it. Let's not hear the Indiana accent. What's yours? How do you say it?
It's, oh gosh, the pressure. So it's kind of got the roll, so it's like Pittard.
Ooh, I like that.
Pittard. I can do the roll. Pittard.
Yeah.
I like the roll.
But no one says that. They Pittard. When my family, I'm from London, sort of South London, so it's more like, all right, Pittard. It's even more common.
Oh,
nice.
Well, let me start over. We'd like to welcome to the podcast Emily and Eleanor Pittard.
Great.
We're done. No, I'm just kidding.
So, are you two sisters?
No,
we're actually not. No, we're actually married. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah,
I'm looking at your picture. You guys are awesome. Nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we got married in October, so been together for 6 years now.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So you guys have a great lab. I love the name, The Hive, with like a little bee logo. We want to learn all about it. So let's start at the beginning. Who got into this crazy industry first? Who dragged the other one in? How did you guys meet? Let's get the whole story.
Okay, so Emily, being me.
Emily, yes.
I started as a dental nurse when I was 16, and then I became a dental technician around about 19, I think, and then I went on to move down south, met Eleanor, who was working in a dental practice, and became a dental practice manager, and I was doing their all-on-4 implants. So I was going,
yeah,
and so we both were in it separately. But then I've gone on to do my clinical dental technology. But you started quite differently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually have any prior dental training, so I started like in marketing. I've got sort of degrees in management and digital marketing, and I started in that area. And then a job came up in a dental practice, just sort of doing the admin and kind of a little bit of marketing. So I thought, I'll give it a go, see what it's like. And then I worked on reception and admin for about a year, and then took over as manager of the practice.
Wow.
And kind of moved up a little bit for a couple of years, and then sort of helped them with the corporate takeover, and then helped open a dental practice for a couple, and worked as manager there for a couple of years. And then we've kind of moved over to open the lab together kind of from that. So yeah, mine's more clinical experience, and then
more technical. Although Ella's even though she's non-technical, she helps me out so many of technical things. Like she's always one to say, Emily, you're setting up the teeth, they're sliding up to the left, and I'm like, damn it, I did not see that. Yeah, it's a good eye. It's kind of an annoying eye, but it's a good eye.
So Emily, how do you become a dental nurse at 16?
Oh, well, I was a really weird kid that was obsessed with going to the dentist. I think it's because I was given a sticker, and I'm a sucker for stickers. So when we got given one. And so I then wanted to be a dentist. And my mum said, well, why don't you try doing some work experience in a dental practice first? And I went and became a nurse and sort of just continued on that vein, because I wasn't academically at the top of my classes, getting all the sciences that you would need to be a dentist. And then it was being a dental nurse that I was like, oh, wow, I really love the dentures and the crowns and bridges and all the arty stuff. And that's when I segued. So yeah, dental nursing stemmed from a deep obsession with going to the dentist. Weird kid. Weird.
And stickers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, don't forget the stickers.
It's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does a dental nurse do? Just help me.
Yeah, because in America, we don't have that term.
Yeah, so I'm super curious.
So I think it's just basically the same as, I believe, like a dental assistant in it. So
okay.
It would just be assisting the dentist, mixing the cements, the materials, the alginate things, and taking notes, x-rays and stuff. So it's assisting the dentist.
Yeah, sounds exactly like a dental assistant over here.
Yeah, but 16, that's super young.
That is super young.
That's great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm surprised I got the job, really, considering what I was 16. No idea why they trusted me, but yeah.
And you met by going to Eleanor's practice to do all on fours.
Yes, yeah. So she used to liaise with me so that they could market the fact that they had a technician coming in specifically to do all on fours and implant treatment and all of that. And so that's how we got talking. And I moved down here from London, so I'm used to city centres. And I came to Dorset, which in England, this is very seasidey and a slow pace of life. And so then I met Eleanor, and she had a twang in her accent. There was something in her accent, and I immediately was like, oh, hi, where are you from? And then she has a very stone cold look to her when she wants to. People who know her know this look. And she just looked straight through my soul and just was like, are you talking to me? And then I was like, oh God. And I was like, yeah. And then she said she's originally from Manchester, and that's what I could hear in her accent. And so then I was like, fantastic, I get to talk to this really attractive woman. So I was like, great, I'm from London, we're both city girls. And then she was like, she just sort of like sympathetically nodded and then moved away. And I was like, well, that's gone down.
Yeah.
So I like the chase.
So you won her over with your ability to do full arch. Yes. With blood and all that. I mean, it's very impressive. So
yeah, that's the healing side of it.
Yeah. She's a dark, strange lady. Very. Yeah.
So after you left the clinical, Emily, we'll get to you, Eleanor, don't worry. After we left the clinical, you worked at a lab?
So I sort of was doing this through a laboratory, and that's when I started to realize from my dental assistant equivalent knowledge, I really wanted to become a clinical dental technician where I could see patients directly myself.
Okay.
And it was then from there was working at a laboratory, and Eleanor and I looked at basically trying to open our own. And I could study to become a clinical dental technician and actually have a little surgery within the laboratory.
Nice. Is that like a denturist almost?
Exactly. Yeah, denturist. Yeah, we call it long-winded phrase here. We call it dental technician, which no patient knows what that is. I don't know what. They think I'm there to fix the chair or something. So yeah, it's a bad name.
Is that like a 2-year degree? So did you go to school for that?
Yes. So yeah, I went to study in Lancashire, and it basically qualified in the Royal College of Surgeons. So it's pretty fancy.
That does sound fancy.
Yeah,
wow.
It's
royal.
Yeah, royal. Just step back, America.
Yeah, I'll say.
I didn't know I was supposed to bow at the beginning of this podcast. Sorry.
And roll your R's and bow. Yes, Elvis. Anytime you do me. But yes, so it was 2-year addition course on top of your technician course. You can top up to become a denturist.
Wow.
That's awesome. And also I like the fact that you call it laboratory. We need to start doing that here in America.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm starting a movement. So Eleanor, you were into marketing and managing. Sorry, my dogs are going nuts. And you just showed up at a dental lab not really knowing anything about teeth?
Yeah, I just kind of fell into it because I'd got to a point where I thought I'd rather work for myself, and then in order to do that I needed like a little bit of side money, and a job just came up doing like 3 days a week at a dental practice, and I thought, that we'll give that a go. I like teeth as much as the next person. Let's go there.
It won't last long. Who knew?
It won't last long. Yeah, it's fine. It's just a little, side thing. And then, worked on the reception and admin, and actually kind of found it was just very interesting. And there's like a niche there where you get a lot of people who have the clinical knowledge but don't necessarily have the management kind of background to kind of put into use, or the marketing background.
Very true.
Yeah, we kind of find a little bit of a niche for myself where I could go, okay, well, as long as someone can help me learn the dental side of things, then I've already got the management side that I can help put into practice. So then I kind of got into like building some websites and going on social media and doing the marketing there, and then sort of developing more of a patient kind of customer focused approach to the patient journey. And then I was like learning more about it, and obviously got to know Emily a bit better, and then moved into the lab side of things. And found that like even more interesting because it's the art. I like the art side of the laboratory.
Plus, we're better people.
Yeah, you've got the yin and the yang.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got the technician side and you've got the marketing side. So you guys got together. Where did you open your lab? Like, how did that come together?
So we initially started like working within a dental practice and doing some laboratory work for one practice, which is like an implant practice, and kind of built it from there really. And Emily was already doing the prosthetic work herself, and then just casually decided to learn the digital side in a couple of weeks and work on the CAD CAM and do that, and then also like learn the Myo stain and glaze technique and kind of transition throughout all aspects of the lab as much as possible. And then I just worked on the admin and like marketing side of it, and kind of helping out where I can, like learning to pour models and things like that. So I can do a few little things. I can articulate models as well. So
very good. And then we sort of did we outgrew it because it was only 2 little rooms inside a dental clinic, an implant clinic. And with the machinery and everything that was growing, it was growing so rapidly that we decided to get some premises off-site. And when we went off-site, we realized that actually there was a lot more dentists that wanted to send us work, but they didn't want to send us work while we were in another dental practice. They were like, oh, I don't want to give this money to the dentist that's working there. And so when we moved off-site, we did a brand change and revamped it, and that's when the Hive was born. And
So how did that come about?
Yeah, exactly. Where did that come from?
So we wanted to do something that was giving back. Like we try to be very eco-friendly, considering our job's essentially manufacturing plastic and putting things out there. So we wanted to try something eco-friendly back. And also because of how we started, which with the whole city girl, and Eleanor's from Manchester. Manchester in England has the worker bee as their symbol, which is a continuous city that just keeps working. They're basically very, very, very industrial city, yes. And so they have this bee thing for them, and that kind of worked in with Eleanor and I, with Ella as the basically the lab wouldn't be there without her capability of I'm a good technician ish, but I'm definitely terrible at organization, so nothing would actually get done on time if it didn't have Ella.
I am the same damn way, just saying.
So I feel like we kind of fitted because we also, with the eco-friendly, we own now 2 beehives that we put money towards to sponsor it and help out with that. And so
have that kind of sustainability point to it. And then also we can give our dentists and dental practices honey, which, in turn just creates more business for us. So it's full circle.
Yeah, get those cavities. Need those onlays.
You guys give out honey as a marketing? That's awesome. That's great. Well, you're in that country where everybody drinks tea and puts honey in it, right? Yeah. We don't do that as much here. So that's great. So I'm guessing, Eleanor, you came up with the design, the fantastic website, all of that.
Yeah. Well, we worked a little bit together on it, but definitely.
She's being modest. Yeah, she did it.
Yeah.
She did on our Instagram, the sort of hexagon shaped tiles that are on the Instagram. That's all Eleanor as well. She's got the
I'm looking at it right now. As a matter of fact, it's pretty awesome.
It's amazing. It really is great marketing. I mean, it caught my eye. And I can only imagine it catches the eyes of lots of dentists in the area.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that like it. I mean, I feel like some people think I'm going maybe a bit too much because I now have like bees on my shoes and I have a bee jacket and I'm working on the VR driver just wearing a bee costume. I don't know. It's usable.
I say go all out. That's
thank you. There we go. Yeah, the car can be like dressed as a bee as well. I mean, you know, there's just lots of opportunities there for branding, I feel.
Absolutely. Put some wings on that thing.
Yeah.
How do you guys win an award like a best dental laboratory in the UK? Like, do your fellow technicians vote on that? Do dentists vote on that?
There's different dental awards that they run in England, and it's mainly run by the FMC company. And basically what you do is you get given a set amount of things that you have to fill out and basically present it to a panel of judges that they're all specialized in their area. So you might get some dentists, might be a couple of technicians or business owners, but they're all usually in the field of dentistry, and they narrow it down to finalists and then they decide if you win. And so, yeah, we were majorly chuffed at the last awards because we're up against some incredible labs. And
yeah, there's a lot of big labs in England.
Yeah, and they're amazing. And so when we went for a sort of work night out, we were like, we're probably not going to win, guys, but it's going to be really cool to just see our name come up on the stage. That's just going to be great. Wow. When they originally, the first one that they announced was for me to have won. I was lucky enough to win the year before, so I definitely thought, since someone else's turn this year, they're not going to let me win again. And so when I did, I was just chuffed. My legs went to jelly. I felt like I'd taken the mic off the person and being like, I'd like to thank all the people. No, I was just so nervous. And then the second lot of nomination things came up, which was for the best dental lab. So we were just all buzzing, pun intended, for the, and so then when they said the best laboratory in the UK to be the Hive, I mean, I wish we'd filmed our reactions, like the whole team, like all the technicians. We all just screamed in each other's faces. That must have been like sickening. But yeah, that's basically how the awards run. And we've been so lucky.
Yeah. Do they do awards in the US in the same kind of
Not
style?
like that.
No, that's why I asked. So
it's like a whole award ceremony? Like,
yeah, it's like an Oscars for dentistry.
Yeah, there's one's in like a black tie, and there's like photographers flashing. It's very intense. Like the music, you know, when someone calls out in the Oscars or something like that, and the music starts to play, that happens. Yeah, we had Spice Girls play at one point. It was intense. Yeah,
like the actual group. They're live?
No,
it's not that.
It's the actual Spice Girls.
I got excited. Sorry.
Yeah, that was like 25 years ago, I think.
That's amazing, though. No, we don't do anything like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, I think you should start one, you two, because honestly, the money that they must make, because if you become a finalist, is
like £300, I think.
Yeah, holy moly!
Table is like over £3,000, and then they have like about 40 to 50 tables full of people.
Yeah,
so
very clever.
Yeah,
very good. But it works well if you win. Obviously, we've got that to marketing for the following year. But it's also great for a night out for a team. It just is good morale.
Kind of like a level of standard as well, because obviously you have to reach a certain standard to be kind of considered. So then if everyone's trying to reach those standards, then you know that the industry's kind of
getting better and better.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it also clinical awards at the same time, or is it all lab?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ones. So you have like the private dentistry awards, the aesthetic dentistry awards, and just like the dentistry awards. And so the aesthetic is where it looks at a clinician and a technician, and then you look at a specific case that they've been working on.
Wow.
And then both the dentist and the clinician, the technician, can get rewarded for the case that they've worked on and how well they've done it together. And then the private dentistry is all about dental clinics, and the dentistry awards, which is the one that we won at, is kind of encompassing all of anyone in dentistry across the whole of the UK.
But they do loads. They do ones for just hygienists, oral health awards. They really, so it's all these different nights, and they usually from October to December. It's nearly every single weekend there's a different award in dentistry.
Wow.
That's great.
That's a lot going on.
Yeah, we're way behind.
What do you get? Do you get like a tooth trophy or?
Oh, it was a trophy. No, you do if you win a overall one. So when we won the best implant laboratory a couple of years ago, you get a glass trophy kind of thing. But at the last ones that we've won, when it's not specified to be implant, it was just the best laboratory. You get this framed
certificate.
It's like a certificate.
Okay.
Glass frame that you can kind of put on the wall.
Yes, but we've won there's a business awards in is it England?
I think that's the UK.
The UK one, and that one we've won best laboratory, and it's not specified in dentistry, so they pick you basically. They're the prestige awards, and so we've been picked for the last few years. And that one, you get a big glass trophy. That one,
that's exciting. You like the glass trophies?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Wow.
You get to keep them, right? You don't have to give them back every year, do you?
Yeah, we get to keep. We would keep them. I would have said, Barbara, we've lost it. I'm keeping that. So
heck yeah.
Did you drink? Is it like a big cup? Is it like a big glass cup?
No, it's sort of like a little. Well, it's like a. What would you describe it as?
It's essentially a glass statue, but
Okay.
A cylindrical statue. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'm assuming that when you win an award like that, that just blows your business up. Would I be correct in that? And dentists just want to use you guys and work with you?
It does. I find that it's definitely puts you more on the map. But it is, I think in England you get your loyal dentist, and then you get sort of like with a few labs in the area, we sort of call them the switchers. They sort of between, they'll do a little bit here and a little bit there. And when you win an award, it's almost like you get all the switchers. They'll sort of come over and be like, "Oh, hi," and send you a couple of cases, and then they'll want to try someone else a little bit later. So it does. It's definitely, I think
it opens up opportunities that you might not have, originally had, and conversations with people, and be like, "Oh yeah, no, that's talk about the awards and things like that." But you get some sort of loyal customers from it.
I think when we won it, being two female lab owners, it's not your average run of the mill that we found. And so I remember when we won the last award, the chap that was handing, she get a different person giving the award for each nomination thing. And he was there, and he was a very sweet man. But as Eleanor and I walked on stage and our team were walking up behind us, the two guys that work in our prosthetic department were walking up, and the guy with the trophy sort of like smiled at Eleanor and I, and then turned to the two guys and were like, "There's your award." And the two guys was so sweet, because we're kind of used to a little bit of them going, "Oh, you two own the lab, okay." And like the two guys were like, "Oh no, it's all them." And then this poor guy, the embarrassment, he was just like, "Oh no." And we're like, "Don't worry, it's fine. We get that." Yeah. So
don't worry, we're badasses.
Exactly. But it's we get that a lot. But it's kind of worked in our favor, because it's almost made us a step apart, a little bit different, where we get a lot of female dentists send us stuff, because they've said, like, we've got a lady who we work with closely who does a lot of implants, and she sort of said that she likes the fact that when she rings and she wants to talk to us, she's been spoken down to a lot, she feels, by a lot of male technicians who will say, she's telling me that she had a male technician say, you need to use your overhead light to look in the mouth, taking an impression or something. And she was just like,
she's a specialist.
Yeah, she's not even just an implant dentist. Yeah, she's like a prosthodontist. And she just sort of said the difference with us, she just feels she doesn't get mansplained a lot. I don't know if you have
oh yeah.
So it's worked well in that way. We love the guys that we work with, but it seems to have got quite a few female dentists that's kind of cool. That was good.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So when you started the Hive, how many employees did you have? Did you just start with the two of you?
Yeah.
Well, we had one guy working in.
We started two of us originally, and then we had.
Simon was working in the prosthetic department, so he was kind of helping out doing the dentures and things. And then we hired Leah to do the kind of admin and driving. And then we've hired sort of Aniko, Mike, and Sandy have been in the last sort of 9 months that have joined our team. So we've expanded, we've over doubled how many people we have in less than a year.
Yeah, and it was to be able to do that during this climate with COVID and everything.
Yeah.
When that hit, I was like, oh God, this isn't going to go down well, But we've thankfully come out from strength to strength, touch wood, and yeah, so we've done quite well with extra staff members, and they're such a great team. It's just so. Yeah. It's just nice I'm definitely not the boss. Ella's the boss with the stone cold look, remember? I walk in and I'll be like, hey, let's go have a beer. And then Ella's like, Emily, it's 10 a.m. Yeah.
Is it easy to find dental technicians in the UK, or do you guys train on site?
It's not anymore. I think, unfortunately, the trade, loads of people dropped off the register here. And I just think at the moment, I think in the last 6 months, it's been such dearth.
It's been, quite difficult. I mean, we're very lucky with who we found, but we're quite specific on personality as well as skills. So obviously we'll hire people who are qualified dental technicians, but it's kind of how they fit with the team that's really important to us, because, you always get if you get one bad person in a team, then it just throws everyone off and everyone's on edge. So we kind of go with, okay, who works really, really well together, who's just a really nice, lovely person. And then whatever skills they want to learn, wherever they want to go, then we'll just kind of provide that opportunity and go on loads of courses and things like that. And luckily, we've got people who are really good at what they do as well. So we've kind of lucked out there.
Yeah, we do give them training and stuff.
Yeah, it's super hard here in the United States to find technicians, especially removable. They're just nowhere to be found. It's kind of depressing because, you just can't find qualified technicians anymore.
It's worrying, isn't it? Just how much it's declined. And all the knowledge, with the removables that I've learned most of my stuff from an older guy that I sat next to that taught me all the things that his dad taught him, and it's all just going to die off with everyone. Tricks and trades.
Well, that's why you need to be teaching the next generation.
I will, Elvis. I will hold it. And I should teach. Well, I do actually like a lot of technicians. I find they're a little bit cloak and dagger with their skills. They don't want to share or anything. Whereas at the Hive, we try and do teaching. We do something called. Do you have CPD in America? Do you have to do that?
CPD, no, what is it?
We have to do a set amount of hours of continual professional development. So you have to have a set amount of hours of
learning and training.
Yeah, and we call it continuing education, CE credit.
Yeah.
For people that are a certified dental technician, but it's not required to be a certified dental technician.
But if you are a certified dental technician, you have to have so many hours per year to remain certified. So it's kind of,
Yeah, that sounds exactly the same. Yeah, so we hold CPD, so your equivalent CED, events at the Hive we started doing it every Tuesday evening, sort of an hour after work, where we would just throw some obvious training that we need, like medical emergencies and things like that, or we'd go into just different tricks.
Gingival characterization or things like that. We kind of ask the team if there's anything that they want to learn or train that one of us could teach them, or we can get someone else in to do that. And then we're starting to do it with local dental practices and stuff as well, and all the nurses, because obviously they have to do the same CPD as well. Up to them and just say, everyone who wants to come can come, and then we all kind of train together, and you benefit obviously from having that shared knowledge of everyone in the room as well. So we started doing that a bit more.
Every week?
You do that in your lab?
Yeah, we do. Well, it's only at the moment we're doing sort of an hour touch base every week. The odd week we'll sort of skip it, but when we're really busy slammed at the lab, we've sort of put it to maybe every other week. But at the moment it's been quite good.
Yeah. So we have a kind of a CPD room. Our office is set up so that it's got a projector and sort of tables and chairs and stuff, so that everyone can come and sit in there. So there's a space away from the bench, as it were.
Yeah.
So it gives that opportunity.
How many do you usually have show up?
All the staff tend to stay, which is handy. And then we usually, recently, we've been getting an extra 2 or 3 nurses or hygienists from other practices. For the style in which we're doing it, that's enough people. Yeah. But the other day we did a planned CPD event on intraoral scanners for implants, and we got a rep in who brought their Dentsply cutting edge scanners, primary scanner, and they came, and so loads of dentists turned up for that. We had about, how many was it? Well, I say loads. It was loads.
We had 8 dental practices there, so like clinicians and nurses from each of them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not bad though. That's nice. That's a great way to market.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go on the scanner, and they really liked it. And we've picked up some work from that, so that's really
good.
Got to see our mobile lab as well, so they enjoyed that.
Yes.
So I was just looking at that on your Instagram, and I was going to say it's beautiful. So you've got pictures of the inside and the outside. You guys do conversions from that?
So yeah, but what we kitted out, it was in lockdown actually. I got a lot of phone calls from patients or people that knew of patients that had broken their dentures, but they weren't allowed to leave the house because of isolation and everything. And so I was like, wouldn't it be good if we had a van that was kitted out for us to be able to do denture repairs, or we could do our all on fours if I didn't know quite how far the van would be able to go. So we then, fortuitously, not really for him, but for us, one of my friend's dads who worked for Sunseekers, putting together the ships and Sunseekers, he became redundant during lockdown. And so he then said, I was talking to him about it, and he was like, oh, I love a project. Let me do it for you.
Wow.
We got this van that was a gardener's van. We stripped it and then designed the whole inside and managed to get this battery that basically runs off the engine. And so we could plug in like the hand pieces that would be connected to the battery and everything. So we can, in the van, I do nearly all our immediate loads and all denture repairs, additions, something that normally you'd have to send to a lab, and then the following week or the following day you'd have to get. I would just drive, or one of the team members drives to the clinic, or even a patient's house if they're unable to get out, especially the elderly, or care homes. And we do repairs and stuff, and it's been really, really good. What started off as just like a little idea.
Yeah, because it also gives dental practices the ability to say to their patients, oh, we can have a laboratory on site. So you don't have to keep coming back for appointments. We can see you at the beginning of the day, take impressions, and by the end of the day, you can have a new smile.
Wow. You've got to have a limit on that, right? You can only do one of those, right? You can't do a couple.
A few people have said to us like, whether or not to sort of create a franchise of this sort of like fleet of vans that we could. Although I think my friend's dad, who put his heart and soul into that, sort of said to me that never again. I know I'd twist his arm, and he's a very skilled carpenter, so I'm sure I could. But yeah, there's definitely a demand for it, I reckon. Yeah.
Do you have a boil out in there and a pressure pot and a lathe and all that?
We do have a lathe. With regards to doing the dentures, we tend to do pourable. So we do sort of the self, what's it called? You know, the one that you sort of tighten, I can't remember the name of it now, but the one that you tighten by hand. So we do that. And when it comes to boiling out, we've sort of worked out that so far we've not been so isolated from being able to do it near a drain or anything like that. So we can boil out from there, but we have some of the mesh to hold the teeth and stuff. So we've got little hacks for it. But ideally, the dental practices that we do it for, we can have like a remote steamer that we can steam as well. So it works out. So far, so good. Yeah.
Have you ever had to be back there working while someone's driving because you're so close on time?
No.
No, okay.
At one time, Ella needed to move the van because we blocked someone in. And I was like, oh, I'll just sit in the back so I don't have to put all the hand pieces away. And it was the funnest experience of my life. I walked around with my burrs. It was so much fun. But dangerous but fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful van. I'm looking at it right now. It's great to see.
Oh, thank you.
What do you see a lot more out of your lab? Is it more removable or more fixed?
Well, I would say originally it was more fixed because we catered for a lot of implant practices. But with me doing more denturist work and stuff like that, my heart is in removable. And I love that generation of people that need them. And I would say now it's probably still 60% fixed and 40% removable. But yeah, it's probably that ratio.
Do you still do PFMs?
Yes, although we'd say is majority on zirconia. That's there seems to be the major preference, but we still got some dentists that prefer the PFMs.
Yeah, they'll never switch over.
Yeah.
The guy doing PFMs for sure.
Yeah.
So with your ability to work on patients, do you see patients at the lab? I mean, sorry, at the laboratory?
At the laboratory, yeah. We've technically at the moment, no, we see them for shade taking. I'm currently in the process of putting a surgery in. Yes, so we're at the final stages of the blueprints and getting it all in. But I work at dental practices. So at the moment, I've been working at a dental practice that we originally started in, and I see patients there. And so I see them 2 days a week. I'm in there 2 days a week. And then I bring the work back to the Hive and then work on it the rest of the week with the team.
Yeah.
Wow.
How do you put together an operatory? Like you said, it's coming together. What do you need?
We've got like all of the designs in place for it. We've got a spare room that's kind of been a bit of a dumping ground in the Hive for the past year. So we've kind of been working on getting the design in place and working with some companies on the flooring and the plumbing and everything else, because we're in a kind of a listed building. So there's only certain things that you can and can't do in there. So we've got all that, like the plans are there now. So it's just a case of booking it in. And because of, I think it's like COVID and possibly Brexit, but getting some of the supplies over, like the dental chair and stuff like that, there's a longer waiting list than there would originally have been. So yeah, we're kind of waiting a little bit on those. But yeah, once that's in, we've got everything else in place for Emily to start seeing patients there. And we get quite a lot of people that kind of pop by for a dental repair, and a lot of them say, oh, can you make me a new denture? And obviously I have to go, well, no, we can't. You'll need to see a dentist, or, we don't have the facilities here. But a lot of them are afraid of the dentist, or they don't really want to go see them. So they're kind of on a waiting list for when we've got the clinic up and running and Emily can see them, and then obviously refer to the dentist for review if they're not a dentulist, but go from there. So we've already got some people that are waiting kind of for when we have the room.
That's exciting. Wow.
Yeah, really excited for that. Looking forward to that.
Do you think any dentist will take, I don't know, I don't want to use the phrase offense, but stop using you because now you're seeing patients, or is that not a thing?
I think it definitely was more of a thing. Whereas now, thankfully, the dentists that I've got that are that are sending us removables, I've been very transparent with them, and they kind of use my strengths and I use their strengths for knowledge. So we kind of learn from each other. So they know that my heart is always with seeing patients directly and doing that. So thankfully, no, not
a lot of dentists.
Yeah,
that's great.
Don't really like doing dentures particularly.
Yeah.
Like they prefer, and obviously if you're on the NHS anyway, they don't really get a lot of time for seeing patients. So actually going through all of the dental appointments is very hard. And then if you're private over here, then you're kind of pushed towards the Invisalign or the implants, crown and bridge, that kind of thing. So dental patients are kind of like a missed group of people who kind of get left to the side. Whereas Emily's also been working in implant practices for quite a long time. So she's very good at kind of providing an overall treatment estimate and options to patients and letting them know, the benefit of implants and things like that. So then we can work with dental practices to say, well, we can obviously provide you with patients who are happy to have implants and things like that, as long as we can then do the dentures as part of their treatment and kind of work together like collaboratively to get the best patient care.
That's awesome. Getting patients on board with implants, that's the hardest part. But once you get there, I mean, that's amazing. What's the common, is it locator? Is locator common over there?
Yeah. So that's definitely, I find that the best segue into getting patients over from dentures, especially at least on the lower, it just would be better just to have that. I think, that's the golden standard, isn't it, in America, that you guys do that as like in England, that's sometimes not really even an option or given as an option to patients. Whereas I'd heard that in America, they're a lot better at informing patients.
Of implants?
Elvis works for an implant company, so he's the best to answer that.
I mean, it's getting more and more common. It's becoming the standard of care.
Yeah.
To get some implants. I would imagine it's doing the same over there.
It's getting there. I think it just needs, there are a lot of patients that I see that they've never heard of it, or they instantly wince at the idea of, or there'll be something like they'll be in their late 60s or early 70s, and they go, I'm too old for that. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You know, yeah, there's a little bit that I think we got a little way to go yet to sort of normalize implants and not see it as such a horrific, scary thing. That's what I tend to pick up from patients.
It makes their lives so much better, though. Just convince them of, how much better an implant is, even though the healing time and all of that is a lot longer. It really does. I come from a large laboratory here in the States, and we've literally tripled single implants this past year. So I know that in the U.S., they're definitely marketing and selling it, and they're accepting treatment a lot more than ever.
I feel like COVID has made patients like kind of more aware of health, more health conscious, I guess, because you haven't been able to spend money on travel and holidays and whatever else. So you kind of look inwardly at yourself and think, oh, well, I'll spend some money on myself instead. And you care obviously more about health and the benefits of having implants.
And I had a few patients say that they hadn't looked at themselves as much as they did during lockdown when they were on Zoom.
Yes.
That smile. And so
I need to go get Botox.
It definitely, I think that's caused a surge. And people that can wear face masks now, they're going, right, let's get this treatment in because I can wear a face mask while I'm healing. And
I've heard that the use of braces went up because of face masks. People weren't afraid to go out there with braces. You don't have that look because no one can see it.
I didn't even think of braces. That's fair.
So what else is going on with the Hive? I mean, are you looking to expand? Do you have that whole building? I'm looking at this. Wonderful. It looks like the White House, honestly.
It's actually called the White House.
So. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah. How did you know that, Elvis?
Do you have that whole building?
We have the whole top floor. So there's there's 2 doors, and downstairs is it a Constitution Club, which is basically a lovely group of gentlemen that have a lot of money, and they play snooker. Yeah, they play snooker downstairs, and we make teeth upstairs, and it's men only. But there is a lady, I think it's Debbie, behind the secret bar that's in there. Yeah. So we're worried that there is actual cults going on downstairs, but we carry on upstairs. But so we've got the whole of the top floor. And the address for it is actually called the White House on it. So
oh, really? Interesting.
Very, very fancy.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Are you looking to expand, or are you looking to kick out the weird people downstairs? And
no, they own the whole building. So
never mind. Yeah.
They're potential patients when the surgery's put in. They're lovely gentlemen down there. But yes, they're
we're kind of looking to build that clinic room and then expand the clinic more, as obviously then being a feeder into the laboratory. And we've kind of started working more with a charity called Dentech that I don't know whether they've got much reach over in America at the moment. But it's a charity based in the UK that looks at kind of bridging the gap between patients who may be homeless or abuse victims or things like that, and getting them access to free dental care. So they kind of access to the clinicians, and then the clinicians can see them, and they'll have some free time that they'll give, and then they kind of put the work out there, and any lab that's happy to do it for free can then take the case on. So we do some cases for them as well. So we're just looking at kind of building that as well, and helping them to build a community of clinicians and technicians and labs and stuff who can kind of help and support people who wouldn't ordinarily be able to get any help.
That's
so we're kind of focused on those 2 things.
That's definitely important to us to do that. So I think the rest of this year will be plowing into that, trying to build momentum there, because they've behind the scenes in Dentech, the charity, they've got quite a lot of plans to expand.
They're working on a few things at the moment just to make it easier for people to be able to refer and to work with charities and things like that, which I think they're looking at sort of releasing in the next couple of months, more information on that. But it's really exciting, because it's just that opportunity that at the moment, I think there are so many people either just miss out on it, especially if you're homeless, you can't get access to it at all. And it can make such a massive difference to even just getting a job interview or something like that. we're kind of looking at that and then looking at the clinic to then feed back into the laboratory and also provide the sort of clinical care to denture patients in the area that's affordable, but also you get nice dentures at the end of it.
Yeah. And you can help on both sides. You can help on the clinic side when you open up your area, and then you can also help on the lab side too.
Exactly, and we're both lucky to be enough open to be on the committee of Dentech, and Ella's mastermind marketing and everything. She's at the helm of that, and I don't know if we're allowed to talk about some of the stuff that's coming, but I will let you know. I'll tag you in it when it comes out.
Yeah.
It's all Ella's marketing plans and everything that have gone to town. So yeah, it's really exciting.
So when you do get the surgery in there, how do you market that, Eleanor? Like, do you go out to the docs, to the public, or both?
We're kind of going to go to both. It's like a two-pronged approach. So patients are already kind of aware of who we are in as much as being there and doing the denture repairs. And I've seen quite a big shift over the last couple of years of where it used to be a case of they'd go to an NHS practice or a private practice and then be referred to people who were sort of specialists within the industry, whereas now patients are taking a more proactive approach to their care and seeking people out specifically. So my idea is more to present, obviously, Emily as kind of a specialist within the denture industry, and why you'd want to go and see a clinical dental technician over a dentist specifically for denture care, and the amount of experience she's got with that. So kind of being a thought leader on that approach and marketing that to patients, and also things like care homes and stuff where they get kind of neglected a little bit and left to the side. But then also to dental practices and saying, we do have experience in upselling and cross-selling treatment and working with implants and things. So if you'll work with us and that refer as your dentist, will refer back to you for the higher profile parts of the case. And I think a lot of dentists will work with that. We've got some good buzz from that at the moment of dentists who are happy to work with that, because obviously the patient's getting the best patient journey because they're working, getting the work from the people who have got the best experience in each area.
Mm-hmm. And it's reciprocal. So, they help you, you help them, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Keep them on your side. That's for sure. It's great.
Yeah. And obviously I think having the lab on site or the clinic on site with the lab means that, when you are doing the try-ins and things like that, you've got whatever technician is working directly on your teeth is there. And for a technician, I mean, obviously I'm not one, but you guys all are. I would imagine it's significantly easier for you to produce better work if you actually see it in the mouth and see, the face, the facial structure, and it just helps you get that perfect smile as opposed to working with, a blurry picture, if you even get a picture.
And for me too, you get the emotional aspect of, seeing what you're doing and the change in their life and how happy we make people. And it's just so gratifying, I think, working directly with patients.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think that you had on your talk an Instagram friend of mine, Nina, who...
Nina.
Nina. Yeah, good old
We love Nina.
So yeah, she works with Dencraft, and they've got the clinic on site, and just the work that she churns out is incredible. So being on site, I definitely want to put that level of work out for our patients. So yeah.
So I see on Instagram that coming up, you all are speaking at the North of England Dentistry Show.
Yes.
Is this your first on stage speaking?
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah,
we did a little trial, obviously, in our lab of talking a little bit about what we were doing a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, this is the first time that we're on stage in front of people. So only mildly terrified.
Yeah, it's terrifying for sure. I agree.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
We're discussing the role of the laboratory in the patient journey.
Nice.
So it's kind of a big topic, but we're kind of throwing in branding and why that's important, why communication is important, and sort of figuring out how best to communicate with dental practices and patients, and even sort of an understanding and an awareness that patients are aware of the laboratory now. They are a little bit more aware that dental technicians are doing their work. And if you get sent for a shade taking or something like that, for example, it's how you as a technician come across and how every interaction that patient has along their journey, it impacts on the finished product. So how you treat them, how you purport yourself on social media, even if it's on your personal page versus the professional page, patients might pick up on that. And so it's kind of understanding that aspect and how that feeds into their journey and their experience, and how you can add value in what you're doing to the end result.
Awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like you know exactly what you're going to talk about. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like she does. Yeah. He's like, I'm going to let Ella do the talking.
You'll just stand to the side and, yeah.
Yeah. Nodding. Yeah.
And then it's like costume. So
Yeah. I love her, and she's brilliant, and she's got balls.
What's the audience? Are you talking to other technicians? Is it mostly dentists? What kind of show is this?
It's for everyone, and so any kind of dental professional can attend. And there's like different hubs. So you've got like the business hub, the implant dentistry hub.
Oh,
so
I see.
Like the lab hub, but it's open to anyone. So it could be a dentist, dental nurse, or a technician, lab owner. So we're assuming that we're speaking to a variety of people. And hopefully people turn up to listen.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be really awkward if there's just like 2 people there, but
we're going to rock those 2 people's lives.
I've got a question that you guys alluded to very early on into the podcast about being eco-friendly. Mm-hmm. Is there materials or anything that you're using or anything you've got? How does that work in the lab?
For us, the packaging that we use, so we use biodegradable bubble wrap and stuff like that, and tissue paper. And we're trying to look into getting a reliable, eco-friendly 3D printing resin that we know from out there. We're just looking into sort of the accuracy and everything to do with that. I mean, and it's things like that kind of limiting our carbon footprint. So at the moment, we're looking at getting our lab cars all electric so that there's no...
Ooh.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah, we just did that at the moment. And then obviously like a portion of the money that we bring in from like turnover and stuff from the dentists all goes back towards the bees locally in the local community. So kind of like increasing their habitats and things like that, so that we can kind of offset the damage that you naturally have to do when you're working with plaster and plastic and things. So there's only so much that you can do, unfortunately. But if we could at least in another area give back and improve the habitat that way, then we feel like we're kind of offsetting that a bit.
I love that.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of complaint about all the models we're printing, and there's nothing to do with them, just throwing them away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we turned some into Christmas baubles for Christmas, so
that's smart.
And
nice.
keys as well. There's lots of things out there that you could just turn them into. That's what we're also looking at as well.
Do you guys use a lot of rubbing alcohol?
We do.
Do you distill that? I ran into a lab the other day that did that whole process. It was quite interesting.
You're kidding me. That's
not
great.
Distill. They reuse it. It is a distill. Yeah.
We have something. We have something. What's when we clean in the models that we reuse? That's a plant-based one.
Yeah, there's a plant-based like resin cleaner that I literally cannot remember the name of. It's like Eco Natural something or other.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like the same thing that you're talking about. So yes, we reuse that. You have to leave it in sunlight for it to settle, and you get the resin residue at the bottom of the glass, and then you can keep reusing the top.
But it's also perfectly safe to put down the drain or whatever.
Interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
And you use that after you print the models?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the rubbing alcohol that we use over here, or the isotopic alcohol, or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. Yeah, interesting.
He's using big words now, ladies.
Look out.
He's trying to show off his brain power.
And I will lose that. So that's great. I love what you guys are doing over there. And I keep saying you guys, and I apologize.
No.
I love what y'all are doing over there.
Oh, thank you.
I love the Hive. I think it's great. I think it's awesome marketing. How often do you all get asked, who's the queen bee?
Oh, damn. That's a great question.
That is a very good question. It's obviously Ella. I mean, I think it's polite that you even asked Elvis, but yeah.
Yeah, I already knew.
Yeah, she's got it embroidered on the back of her jacket. I'm not even joking. I need to send you a picture of it.
It says Queen Bee?
It says hashtag Queen Bee. Yeah.
Nice.
Great.
What does yours say?
I want a bee.
As long as she knows her place, we're all good.
Yeah.
That's great.
So how many technicians do you have working in there now?
So we have technicians 3, not including myself, and then admin 2.
Okay.
Not including myself. Yeah. I don't know why that took so long for me to say 5.
That's
like altogether. Yeah.
It's a high number. I get it.
Yeah.
And you have drivers that go out and run routes.
We do. Well, we have Leah, who is one of the admins. So she's amazing because she does the booking in cases. She rallies around the photography, and she does the driving. And I find this fascinating. I tell everyone, but she's a good friend of mine. But her previous job, she was working at a vegetarian sausage factory, which I'm like, look at that title. Yeah. Imagine just opening liner with that. So when I found out that she worked there, and it could tell, even, as a friend, for friendship and everything, she had very transcending capabilities of doing stuff. So she was one of the first people that came on board, and she's a major asset to the lab with everything she does.
That's awesome.
Nice.
How long has the Hive been open? Just a year?
Yeah, we're coming up to our 1-year anniversary as the Hive.
Yeah. You're kidding me. Wow.
How do you become the best lab in the UK in the first year?
Because we had the original laboratory that was at that clinic and then transferred over, it's still, so technically the business has been open for 4 years.
Yeah, almost 4 years.
Okay.
That makes sense.
But for like the first 3 years, it was essentially Emily doing like the prosthetics, the CAD CAM, the ceramics, and seeing patients. So she didn't sleep for a couple of years. So still looking good on it. It's fine. But yeah, and then when we moved over to the Hive and expanded and kind of took on other dental practices, that's when we've taken on more technicians and then can kind of see more work.
Beautiful.
Congratulations on all the success. Well deserved, well earned.
Oh, thank you very much. That's very sweet of you.
And awesome just to talk to you.
It was lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you so much. Emily Pittard. I appreciate it.
Getting better.
Dork.
I think you should announce everywhere we go now.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on the podcast
you.
and telling your story. It's great stuff.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thank you.
Whip Mix's outstanding VeriEKO LCD 3D printer delivers fast print speed and exceptional accuracy due to its 95% LED light uniformity. Print temporary and permanent crowns and bridges, models and dies, surgical guides, splints, custom trays, and even dentures with Whip Mix's Vera Model OS, Vera Guide OS, Keystone Key Splint Soft, Denka Denture, Denka Temporary Crown and Bridge, Bego Varseo Crown Plus, Bego Varseo Smile Temp, Veracast, and Veratray resins. That is a lot of resins. VeriEKO and its 120 by 80 millimeter print plate is ready to provide its printing power right out of the box with 54 calibrated LEDs for curing consistency, ultra accurate, and smooth prints with its 49 micron pixel size and an easy to use touchscreen. If you're looking for a compact, fast, and accurate 3D printer, call 1-800-626-5651 or visit whipmix.com for more information or to order the Whip Mix VeriEKO 3D printer. And as always, we appreciate your support of the podcast, Whip Mix.
A super thanks to Eleanor and Emily for taking time out of your busy beehive to talk to us on the podcast. Congratulations to all your success and what we are sure to be even more successes as the years go by. We love hearing about technicians taking on more clinical experiences to better serve the patients, and especially I do, and I know, Elvis, you do as well, and wish more countries would allow this. What do you think, America? Do we want a black dress event to hand out awards for dental laboratories in the U.S.? I think we do. Like the Oscars, but with less slapping? Or maybe more slapping? Depends on who shows up. Yeah, that's good, Elvis. You did good this week.
Who would I want to slap on stage?
I wouldn't want to slap anybody, to be honest with you, except maybe my ex-husband, but no, not even him.
I wouldn't mind being slapped by a few famous technicians. That might be good.
That sounds kind of sexual. Now you're going there, aren't you?
Whoa! You're not that sick.
I'm never that sick. Come on, get a hold of yourself.
All right, everybody. Barb, get better.
Thank you.
We need you to get well. We will talk to everybody next week.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
It's not going to be all cheery and shit.